Hey everybody, it's Dr. Jo and Princess Remy, and today I'm going to show you some of my favorite back pain stretches and exercises. So let's get started. Yeah. Disclaimer alert, disclaimer alert. So before we get started, if you haven't already, make sure and click on the subscribe button below. And make sure and put the subscription to public or let me know that you're a subscriber because I always try to respond to my subscribers. So the first one is going to be lying down. You don't have to lie down on the floor. You can do this on your bed or your couch. So if you have a hard time getting on the floor, you can do it somewhere else. So just lying down and getting in a nice comfortable position with your feet propped up. So the first one is just going to be a simple pelvic tilt. Pelvic tilts are my favorite because it's not a big movement, but it's kind of a mix between a stretch and an exercise. So with a pelvic tilt, it's just like it sounds. You're tilting your pelvic back or doing a posterior pelvic tilt, trying to almost flatten your back into the floor or the bed or the couch. But the key is not to push your back down. This isn't using your legs to do it. This is using your pelvic muscles to do it. So if you feel like you're pushing into the floor with your feet, you're not quite doing it right. So when you usually lie down, you have a little bit of a curve in your back there. And so with that pelvic tilt, you're just trying to flatten out that curve. But you should still be able to kind of pick up your feet a little bit while you're doing it. So if you're not, that means you're using your legs to do that pelvic tilt. So just going down, getting that nice flat motion, still being able to breathe comfortably while you're doing that pelvic tilt. Hold it for about 3 to 5 seconds and then relax. This shouldn't be painful, so if it is really, really uncomfortable or painful, just modify it a little bit and just don't push down as hard until your back gets used to it. So just a little tilt. That feels okay, then tilt just a little bit more. But again, you're using those pelvic muscles, you're using those abdominal muscles to do that tilt back. You're not using your legs. So again, about a 3 to 5 second hold, maybe just start off with 5. You can work your way up to 10 to 15 a couple times a day. But remember, they don't feel like a lot, but they're a lot more than you think. So I would just start with a little bit and then progress to a little bit more. So then the next one is going to be a bridge. So this time you're using your glutes and your hamstrings to bring your bottom up off of the floor or the couch or the bed that you're on. So if you sometimes have issues with cramps in your hamstrings, you might want to bring your heels a little bit closer to your bottom because that will take the hamstrings out of it a little bit. So if you start going up into the bridge and you feel like they're trying to cramp, then come on back down and bring your feet up a little bit more. But I want to get the hamstrings as well as the glutes a little bit to get the bridge. But with the bridge, I like to kind of go up one segment at a time. You don't have to stop at each segment of your back, but you really want it to kind of roll up and then roll back down. You don't want to just come up and down and use momentum to do it because then you're not really getting the exercise. You really want to kind of roll up and then roll back down. So it's almost like you're going into that pelvic tilt first and then rolling the rest of your body up. Again, this shouldn't be painful, so if you can only come up to maybe like right here to start off with, that's okay. You can modify it a little bit, but then you want to eventually try and get all the way up into that full bridge and then come back down. There shouldn't be any pressure on your neck. If you're feeling pressure on your neck, it probably means you're trying to push up too high and all that pressure comes back. When I'm rolling up into my bridge, the pressure is down on the lower part of my shoulder blade. So I'm not feeling pressure in my neck. So again, if you're feeling pressure there, you're probably not quite doing it right. So again, you don't have to hold it up here per se. You can just do a little 2 or 3 second pause and come back down. But I would start off with a little bit, maybe 5 or 10, a couple times throughout the day and work your way up because you might not feel the soreness until a little bit later. So start off with a little bit and then you can start working your way up from there. So the next one is just going to be a knee to chest stretch. This one again is really, really nice for the back. Some people say that, if you have a herniated disc, I've heard people say, oh, you shouldn't do it because you're flexing your back, but you're not really flexing your back. You're getting a little bit of movement in your lower back, but these are generally okay unless your doctor or physical therapist has told you not to do it. So the knee to chest is just like it sounds. You're bringing your knee up towards your chest. And so I'm going to take a moment to do my thumbnail smile for my pic. So you can take a picture too if you want to, and then keep on going with that. So with the knee to chest stretch, I like keeping my other leg bent up just to take pressure off the back. Some people do like to slide it down, which you can, and then you can get a little bit of a hip flexor stretch as well, just depending on how your back feels. So you might want to start with it bent up and then kind of work your way to sliding it down. If you don't have any knee problems, you can grab onto your knee on the outside here. But if you have some knee problems, you might want to grab underneath so you're not putting so much pressure on there. And so again, just like it sounds, you're trying to bring it up towards your chest. Sometimes if you do some nice deep breathing with this will help you get a little bit better stretch. So, take a nice deep breath in. You can do belly breathing or diaphragmatic breathing if you want to. And then as you breathe out, just pull a little bit more in there. And sometimes that'll help those muscles relax and give you a little bit better stretch. This is a full 30-second stretch, so make sure you're holding it for that 30 seconds. I like to alternate back and forth, but you don't have to. You can do them all on the same side. So again, you can grab underneath, or if you don't have any issues, sometimes you can get a little bit better stretch if you're up on the outside of the leg here and just pulling in. And again, if you want to then slide down, especially for my left side, I usually need a little bit more stretch in my hip flexor. So as long as this doesn't bother your back, you can do that too. And you can even pull up those toes on your left side to help keep that leg straight down. And you'll feel the stretch here, and then you'll feel that little stretch in your lower back. So 30 seconds, 3 times on each side for that. So the next one is going to be a trunk rotation. This is going to be a full trunk rotation stretch. Sometimes I'll have you with your knees bent up doing the rotation back and forth. We're going to do a full rotation over. And with this one, it's going to kind of be like the bridge where you want to go one segment at a time or one piece of your body at a time to really try and control the stretch. So slide one leg down and then put your foot up kind of on your thigh. Take your hand, grab on your knee. If you want to put your other arm out to the side to give you a little bit of a stretch, you can. And so when I say one segment at a time, I mean, as I roll, everything starts out flat. And then I'm just kind of bringing my pelvis up. Then I'm bringing my low back up. Then I'm bringing the spine up. But I always want to keep my shoulder blade down. So if I can only go to here before my shoulder blade starts coming up, that's what you want to do. And then you want to hold it there. You don't want to bring your whole body up because then you're not getting that rotation stretch in your back and your spine anymore. So really trying to keep it down. As you can see, I'm turning my head. I'm talking to the camera, but this also helps too if you turn your head away from your twist. And so doing some nice deep breaths while you're in that position. As you breathe out, sometimes you can go a little bit more, but remember, try and keep that shoulder blade down. If the shoulder blade's coming up, then you're kind of losing that full twist in there. And then as you relax, try and do the same thing. So now you're coming back, you're kind of getting that rib cage area. You're not just plopping back down, then you're coming in to your pelvis area, and then you're coming into your hip, and then you're rolling back to the middle. So that just kind of helps get that nice twist in there. If you have some specific diagnosis with your back, you might want to be careful. You should always make sure you're asking your doctor or physical therapist about this one. So I'll do real quickly on the other side just so you can see it. So I'm putting my leg on my thigh. I'm putting my opposite arm out, or opposite arm grabbing the same arm out to the side. If I can turn my head and then roll. And then coming back up one segment at a time. So with this one, you don't have to do a full 30-second hold. Sometimes this is better just to count your breaths and do some like 4 or 5 nice deep breaths instead of a 30-second hold, because as you do that deep breathing, especially if you're doing diaphragmatic breathing, sometimes that'll help relax the muscles and get them nice and stretched out. So the last one's going to be sitting up. So the last stretch is going to be a QL or Quadratus Lumborum stretch. And so this is one of those muscles in the low back that is sometimes forgotten about, but it can cause a lot of back pain. So it's a great one to stretch. You can do this seated in a chair. You can do this kind of with your legs out a little bit. Either way, you're going to get a stretch in there. So what you want to do is you're going to kind of sit on your hand. And if you're sitting in a chair, you can just kind of hold on to the bottom of the chair if you want to. And it's the opposite side you're going to stretch. You want to kind of sit over into it. Try and get your butt bone or your sit bones underneath your hand. So you're pushing your weight over to that side. Then you're going to bring the opposite arm up And really try and kind of reach it up towards the ceiling and then push it over towards the opposite side and really try and get that arch there. So I'm getting that stretch kind of through here. You're going to get your lats a little bit in there too. And to get an extra stretch, kind of look up towards your hand and really almost try and arch your body away just to get that extra stretch all the way through there. So this again is a 30-second stretch. You're really trying to get that hold in there, and then after that stretch you can come up. I like to switch sides. You don't have to. Sitting on that side, bringing that arm up, and then really kind of arching almost like you're making a C while you're getting that stretch. And if you look up, that kind of helps get everything. But you know, you're going to get your shoulders, you're going to get your lats, and you're going to get that QL. So this is a nice stretch. So that 30 seconds on each side, 3 times each. So there you have it. Those were some of my favorite back pain stretches and exercises. If you'd like to help support my channel, make sure and click on the link up there. And don't forget to subscribe by clicking down there. And remember, be safe, Miss Remy, have fun, and I hope you feel better soon.